Hi, I'm Jeff,
And I'm Sarah.
and this is a video recap for our third class on drag blues for Swing Ann Arbor in March of 2012. We began, as always, by reviewing our previous classes, so we encourage you to go back to video recaps 1 and 2. And for this lesson, we began with promenades. So in particular, we talked a little bit about the technique behind closing up a promenade and going back into drag walks. So we had talked about last week that we close the promenade when our inside legs are down. So if we're just down, okay, we can close it up, in theory, by pivoting the follow around. But let's talk a little bit more about this to make it go a little bit more, a little bit smoother. Okay? So I'm going to prep the step before. So I'm going to step, and now I'm going to prep into this step by giving a little bit of energy, and this is going to bring the follow a little bit in front of me.
And I'm going to be turned a little bit into that step.
And that energy is going to help the follow pivot around on that step to close us off.
And it also puts me more directly in front of the lead.
So in action, it looks like this. So step, prep, close it up, pivot, we reconnect, and then we go back into drag. Okay? Just a comment on the reconnection into drag. When the follow pivots in front, okay, we're going to probably be in this connection. I'm going to then go a little bit into my knees, okay, getting into that drag walk connection, and then I'm going to step forward into the follow space, and this is going to reassert the drag connection.
So by bending down, the lead is reasserting this drag connection, and like we were doing before, this is like a prop for a step, and so I'm going to put my leg out here.
So again, we end it here, and then we get back into the drag connection.
Okay, and then one note for follows. When we're doing this pivot around, we can relax our leg that's free, so our weight's not on our right leg, and we can just let it sweep across the floor. Okay, so watch my leg this time. So it's relaxed, and you can just let it sweep in place.
Once we'll do this so you can see the lead's footwork from behind. So imagine the follow is right here. My weight's on the inside foot. I step, I prep, I bring the follow in front, respecting your axis. I go into my knees, and I step with the drag connection, reasserting our torso and thigh. Alright, we then use this technique, the ideas behind this, to use the lead to close up the promenade, going back into drag connection. And it looks like this. So step, and now instead of stepping down and prepping, I'm going to step in front of the follow. So in front, turn, and then again go back into the drag walks. So from another angle. So step in front, step.
And you may notice that the stuff that I ended up doing, here was about the same size as my previous step. So the lead is just taking a bigger step around me.
And again, once from behind, the follow is on this side. I'm going to step, I'm going to prep and step in front of her, and I'm going to make sure I turn my upper body to leave the follow behind. I use the energy to push off, rotate, and then back into drag walks, now in this direction. Alright, once we practiced this for a little bit, we moved on to what we call the peekaboo promenade. That is Sarah's name for this movement. And it look like this. Okay. From another angle. Remember, the key idea behind this was this sway, and we step, replace, step, close. Again, step, replace, step, close.
And follows, we're doing the same footwork that the lead is leading it on this.
And even though this footwork is sort of maybe the more visible part of the movement, leads, the most important part of the leading is really going on in our chest, this sway, right? This sway that brings the follows steps around. It's in fact so important that we can do this entire movement, lead this movement, without stepping ourselves, just moving our torso. So this is a challenge move for you guys to demonstrate it for you from this angle. Okay, from this angle. So what we had been doing also is we've been closing up about, well, when we had done this move, we opened up about 45 degrees equally, and then we closed up about the same amount. One variation you can play around with is where we have the follow do most of the closing up. So mostly she goes, and it looks like this. So it's a useful tool for navigating the floor.
And it's fun.
And it's fun. Again, this is very similar to the closing of the promenade, where you keep the follow on her weight on one foot, you respect her axis, and use that to turn her around. Okay. The last thing we did in class was something we can do out of the circle. It was a leg flick for the follow, and it looked like this. So, slow, 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 prep, flick. Okay. This is, again, the rhythm is quick, quick, prep, flick. So the prep.
And it helps to be going in a circle first. It adds momentum to the follow leg.
So leads, what you're doing here, out of this circle, is on this prep step, you tone in a little bit, just a little bit, right? We don't go too deep into our down, but rather into our core. All right, and we then.
When you're on your left leg.
Yes, when we're on our left leg lead. Okay. So we're going to engage this connection in our arm, and then when we step with our right leg, we're going to make sure that our right knee touches the right knee of the follow. And when we step and transfer wing, that's just going to flick her leg up. Okay. So that's the flick. And as we do that, we're going to keep that tone in our right arm and our left arm and our right arm to stabilize the follow on this axis. Right? So as she turns around, she's very stable, and she can rely on me to be there, as opposed to letting her fall off of that axis and step back.
One comment about the flick. So it's okay if you want to hit like the inner thigh or maybe you'll get down to the knee, but the inner thigh. And yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. And
yeah. So for the flick, I can go with the momentum that the lead gives me and not add anything myself. And it's small. It still happens, but it's small. Or I can embellish it. And so Jeff gave me the same amount of energy both times, but I went with it and added a little of my own. Something that we should do either way, even if we don't want to add energy, is control the landing. So if I'm not controlling the landing, I may be, I kick stuff. So make sure that you control this ending right here.
Okay. Yeah, so good stuff for you follows to think about.
Also, you use this hand here that if you don't feel stable on your own, you can use the support that the lead is giving you to balance yourself.
Great. So that's it for this week, and